Hello everybody, my name is Troublmaker, and instead of playing Dota 2, in which I play overpowered characters, I will only be playing the very weak, crappy heroes. And so this week I was playing around with the Brewmaster. The Brewmaster has 4 abilities, just like every other hero. The first one is a Thunderclap. It'll deal area of effect damage in a maximum of 300. It will allow him to also reduce the damage of the characters around him. The next ability is called Drunken Haze. He'll throw some beer at his opponent, which will make his opponent snared, slowed, and also have a ridiculously low hit chance. The next ability is Drunken Brawler, which is a static dodge and crit increase chance. And the last ability is Primal Spirit, which will allow him to split into 3 elementals. And each of these ones will have powers, and they will all have functions and features, and you have to control them all individually. There's a lot of problems with them. Alright, how I play this character. The early game goal of this character will be to get Agronym's Scepter, which will increase the power of his ultimate. However, it's pretty risky because all the things in that are very expensive to buy individually, and yeah, it's very risky. But how you have to sort of play the character, you get a big strength boost, a big health boost, and those are going to be key stats that you'll be needing. After you get the hammer, the best bet is just go for the good old life-stealing helmet and any kind of other items you can afford, because the game really shouldn't go on much longer. So as far as opening tactics go, the first thing I do is get the crit and dodge talent, because this one will grant insanely huge benefits early on. It'll allow him to tank a little more damage, survive a little easier, and do some pretty massive damage on creeps, which is very important. And a lot of characters like this who are really crappy, it's because they don't become very valuable until the very end of the game, which is kind of bad. Generally speaking, any character who's really good or really good later on is really crappy early on, and the really overpowered characters are those that are pretty much good all the time, and they have that kind of sniper type thing. This guy does not have that. So how I'm playing him in the opening here is that I'm trying to play very close to my own towers, and I will use the Drunken Haze on people to try and snare them and trick them into getting closer to the tower. And that makes them take a few more hits. I can also use it on people as they're running away, because it also decreases their hit chance, which means that they're doing overall less damage to my creeps. Using this ability, of course, becomes very risky because it's mana, and yeah, that kind of definitely sucks. But seemingly at this lower level of play, most people who get hit with it seem to just immediately run away, assuming there's some kind of pressure coming. So it's a good way to fake pressure as well. They won't fall for it forever, but early game it's quite good. I just completely invest in crit and dodge early on. I think that's amazing. I'm not so big on the abilities of this guy. I think they're all pretty terrible. The AoE crit one is relatively good. It does some amount of damage, but it doesn't do a ton. Most of this guy's damage is going to come from his attacks, which is why he doesn't really become good until later on in the game, just because at that point he'll be able to stun people, snare people. Well, not stun, but he'll be able to snare people quite a bit, and he'll be able to take a lot of damage while dealing it quite a bit himself, and that's a big key to this character. He will eventually become a tank, but for now he's kind of just crappy. very crappy. Very weak, can't really pressure, can't really do anything with him. Other characters are a lot more freer than he is. So yeah, this character most definitely sucks. This hero does. There are so many more heroes that are much easier to learn. This is not one. It takes them so long to power up, and in this particular play I actually make a mistake, and I get the intelligence weapon first. This guy's very good with strength and very good with stamina, and everything should be based around those 2 statistics in order to make him a little bit of a powerhouse. But for most of the game, he's not going to be able to be a powerhouse. He's not going to be able to help anyone. Not going to be able to support anyone. He's not fast. He doesn't have any rushes. His snare is pretty mediocre. What he does have, though, is Primal Spirits. And, of course, it's one of these things that you kind of have to time, you have to take care to use, because once they come up, you can really kill somebody really easily with Primal Spirits. They're a little bit harder to control than Standard, but once you get that down, it's pretty easy. The downside is that you lose a lot of your snare abilities, and you do pick up a stun, which is pretty awesome. And there are some really funny things with them I hate, though. Like, it always respawns you as the spirit that is closest to the front. That's kind of a problem, because when that happens, it means that the one that they're working down on as collectively is going to be, they're going to spawn right in the middle of everybody. It's terrible. It's not a very good experience at all, and I would not recommend this hero for new players to the game, and it'll take you a long time to really master this particular character. The remainder of this video, you get to watch my playthrough in fast forward mode, so you don't have to read the boring stuff, and just see just how relatively terrible this character is, but how decent he can become later on. And I say decent, not awesome, just decent. It still takes a lot of work to do well with him.